here comes the force. Hey, baby Yoda, you miss me? Where you been all this time? And hello, my little ones. How you doing? This is your Abuela Tomasa here once more. And when I grew up, I want to be. Cuando yo crezca, quiero ser. Y sí, I want to do a lot of things. Even when I'm an old lady, yo quiero estudiar, que yo quiero hacer cosas todavía. All right? Yes. Baby Yoda. Ándale, échate otra vez la force. Allá. Okay, go and take a nap, okay? Abuela is busy right now. Go and look for the dragon. Y the dinosaurio deben de andar por allá. My little ones, today I have a special friend that I'm sure I'm going to say the wrong way her name, but I'm going to let her introduce herself. We are celebrating Black History Month, and we want to salute all the people that is working in the community, making this city a better place to live. So, my dear friend, Writing Soul, that's her name, okay? Writing Soul, thank you so much for being here. Buenas tardes. How you doing?
Muy bien. Thank you so much.
I love that. Gracias. I love that. Okay. I know that you do a lot of things. You do something they call spoken words. But before that, before we go to the spoken word thingy, tell us a little bit about yourself. Something that maybe we don't know yet, especially the people that is watching maybe for first time when I grew up. So tell us a little bit about you.
Okay, so I am from the country. I am from a small town called Moscow, Tennessee. Some people say Moscow, not to be confused with Russia at all. There's nothing but land and cattle, and just as far as you can see, just green everything. So it's a small little country. It's about 9 of us, technically 10. I have 9 siblings. And yeah, I come from a big family, a really, really big family. And it's filled with love and all the family dynamics that you can name of. You have the funny one, you have the serious person, you have the one that's always a dreamer. So I'm just a small town girl trying to make some big things happen.
And she's doing it. You don't believe it. She's working on it and she's doing every day. So tell us a little bit about what is that you do, especially this part of the spoken words. I don't know, maybe I'm old school, but I can say maybe you are a poet.
Yeah.
Am I wrong?
No, you are actually correct. I am a spoken word traveling poet and event coordinator, as well as a teaching artist. On the spoken word side of things, I take poets from Memphis, which are locals, to regional and national poetry slam competitions across the country. And as of right now, I am currently the number 10 lady poet in the world. So Memphis has really been representing, and I love what I do.
Wow, she's the number 10 en los world. En todo el mundo, ella es la número 10. Ellos, wow, I love that. How this happened? How did you start doing this? How you just wake up one day and I say, oh, let me write something down and see this work. How this happen?
So at 9 years old, I was in a house fire, and 2 of my cousins were killed in that house fire. And from there, a few things happened after that I wasn't comfortable with, that changed our family dynamic. So instead of trusting the people around me, I decided to pull out my pen or pencil at that time and write into some of my thoughts into a notebook. And then it started turning into poetry. I used to do poetry before then, but I was doing other people's poetry, like Dr. Maya Angelou and some of Nikki Giovanni, some of the greats. But then I eventually, I grew my own talent. I don't know where it came from, but I would like to say that trauma was the beginning parts of how I started my journey. So just being able to release how I was feeling and grieving for my cousins who didn't make it out of that house fire that I made it out of.
Oh, it is. It's kind of sad to say that something like this makes to to put something beautiful from inside of you, something that is now a quality. This tragedy changed your life, Well, I want to say for the better because it make you get out of everything that you had inside the you can now share with everyone, with everybody. So to be a poet, many people say, to be a poet, I just gonna have to write. Maybe not just that. Maybe you have to study something before you start writing. So because I don't want kids to say, yeah, I'm just gonna start putting some stuff in my computer. Kids have to learn something else in order to make these poems, in order to start doing the spoken words.
No, it actually sometimes just starts with starting. Sometimes it's about just starting whatever is about to come out. It doesn't even matter. You don't have to already have something planned. Sometimes it's about telling your story. Everyone's story becomes poetic in its own little way. People just don't realize it. And it doesn't have to rhyme. A lot of people think, oh, I'm not good at rhyming. Righteous, you rhyme really well. No, your story will speak for itself, and that within itself becomes poetic, and then you now are a poet in your own right. So you don't have to study unless we give you maybe a theme. For example, the Hispanic Heritage Month, that's a theme. So when that month comes, maybe the poets will stick to that kind of a topic, and then you might want to do some research on that subject and then add it to your poem. That's the only way in which you would need a poem to have prior research done. Other than that, you're really just picking up the pen or picking up the microphone and sharing whatever it is that's on your heart. That's your release
Everything that you have inside, and
inside.
maybe just talking doesn't work that well, but if you write it and then later you share it, oh, that is good. I think that is great. So tell me, what is that you love about this? What is that you love about poetry? What is the thing that you say, this is what makes my life better? What is it you love?
I think sometimes people disappoint, but my poetry never does. I don't have to worry about waking up and my poetry betraying me. It only shares what I allow it to share with the world. So I never have to wake up and wonder if it told my secrets. Unless I tell it to, it never will. So for me, poetry is the most loyal thing around me, and that is a safety net for me. I always need to feel I'm in a safe space. Poetry has never threatened me. I've never felt a threat from it. So I've always felt safe with it. So for me, it's my safe place.
So what it would be your advice for somebody who a young one somewhere right now watching this program? They might want to do this. What it would be your advice to that little person if they want to do what you're doing right now?
To start, the hardest part about my journey was having the bravery to start, and also knowing that there'll be moments where you're going to have to be vulnerable, where you're going to have to share so many parts of yourself that you'll start questioning if you're sharing too much. But that's no such thing, because somebody always needs your story. It's now a matter of where can I go so that those people can find it, because sometimes we have to go to the people, they won't come to you. Some neighborhoods where it's not accessible, this kind of art isn't accessible. So how do I get to them so that they can have the courage to speak and to utilize their voice? So for me, it's about starting. The moment you start, the universe does the rest. Things started to become ordered for me. Like the moment I had the bravery to step to the microphone the very first time, the rest of my path was like opening up for me. It was just different. I don't know how to explain it.
Okay. Well, to start, that's the first thing. To
Mhm.
decide to do it. In that moment, everything flows. Everything flows. Tell me something. If you didn't, if you weren't doing the spoken words, the poetry, it will be something else that you would like to do, maybe. It will be another thing that it will fulfill. Because I know this is when you speak, when you say it, it's something that you like. I can see it in your eyes and the way you spoke. But if for some reason this wasn't something that you were doing at this moment, what it will be other thing that you feel like it will work the same way. They also will make you feel that satisfied.
I am in a very low percentage of the world of people who are doing, who I'm doing every single thing that I would want to do, even if I were not doing poetry. For example, I am also in youth development. I am a mentor, to the youth. I am a teaching artist. Again, I'm an event coordinator. Photography is one of my passions. I'm not a professional photographer, but I also put reels together for social media. So there is nothing on this planet that limits me to just doing poetry. So whenever I get that question, I am going to use my gift all the way around while I'm on this earth. So there, you'll never be able to ask me that question and I give you an answer that I can't think of. I'm always going to tell you I'm doing every single thing that I want to do, even if I were not doing poetry. I'm doing it.
You're doing it. Love, my little ones. This is something great. I like her as a great example that you can do a lot of things that you really love, that you can focus. Because sometimes people do a lot of things, they don't even like those things they're doing. But with Ryu Soul, she does the things that make her happy. I think that is the main point on any job or anything that you do. Am I right or am I wrong? Am I right or am I wrong?
Right. How do you say right in Spanish? I want to say
Correcto.
correcto. I would have got it right. I would have said that. Wait, good job. Correcto.
Okay. My sweetie, thank you so much for your time. Thank you so much for sharing all this information with my little ones. Uh, thank you. Thank you for what you do. Thank you. And thank you for being so open and for being so ready to, to, to do something a little bit different. Muchas gracias, mi amor. Thank you very much, and I hope to see you soon. A word on advice before we go, something that you want to say to the little ones who are watching right now?
Be you. And that's never too much. That's always enough.
Excellent. Mis niños, thank you for watching Writer's Soul. Gracias, mi amor. Thank
De
you, thank
nada.
you, thank you.
De
Adios.
nada.
Adios.
Dios.